my sexy compatriots, this is the cup of coffee you all know and love, Minty Coffee, and I am back with another casual commentary. The topic of today's video, as the title suggests, shotguns versus flare guns. Probably the most common divide between pyromains alongside stock versus degreaser. It seems that half of pyromains will deviate to some kind of shotgun, while the other half will choose a flare gun, and both weapon types have some interesting quirks and functions that make both equally viable. I myself am a stock shotgun pyro, valuing insurance and consistency over the utilities of flare guns. Even so, let's go over both weapon types, their pros and cons, and why people tend to deviate to one or the other. Pyro has 3 shotguns in his arsenal: stock, the reserve shooter, and the panic attack, soon to be redesigned to act like a normal shotgun and not a secondary beggar's bazooka. The shotguns are hit-scan based weapons that offer consistent DPS at close to mid-range, and offer the most reliable insurance versus any other class in close to mid-range combat, sans the sniper of course. The shotguns shine as finishers against weak enemies in this range and finishing off enemies you've lit with your flamethrower. The reserve shooter amplifies this second playstyle by mini-critting airborne players, hence the puff and sting playstyle, and pairing well with the degreaser. However, the stock shotgun does not pair well with stuff like the degreaser since you're sacrificing primary DPS for no real benefit, unlike the reserve shooter which offers mini-crits for the quick switch. So essentially the shotguns are strong at close to mid-range with consistent DPS and are effective against all 9 classes, but begin to suffer at mid to long range, doing minimal damage and losing any effectiveness, though this is Pyro's weakness in general as a close range class. If a sniper is scoping on you from far away, of course your shotgun's not going to do anything, but if a sniper's in mid to close range against you or you've flanked him out, he's probably going to die. How do the flare guns compare to this? Pyro's flare guns all offer a long-range method of lighting enemies on fire and give Pyro a better method at combating and harassing snipers. Each individual flare gun offers a specific utility, with the flare gun giving crits, detonator offering mobility and manual flare detonation, the scorch shot offering knockback, and the man melter offering faster projectiles and storing crits via team support. To summarise, the flare guns offer long-range power, each with a unique utility to each one offering a different style of combat. However, the weakness that all flare guns share is a glaring weakness versus other pyros, due to pyros resisting afterburn damage and immune to flare crits now that the flare punch has been removed due to the degreaser nerfs. Also, the DPS of the flare guns is inconsistent at best due to being burst damage flares that fire quite slowly and inconsistently despite reloading when not active. And while you might think that being weak versus pyro shouldn't affect it too much, as a pyro yourself, close range pyro fights are going to be quite common. So in comparison, shotguns offer consistent DPS, a strong mid to close range presence and insurance versus all classes in close quarters and mid fights, including enemy pyros. They begin to suffer at mid to long range with a high damage fall off and wide spread, combining for a minimal damage at such a range, and only strongly suffer versus enemy snipers when they have a sightline on you from across the map. On the other hand, flare guns offer an opposite playstyle, trading the mid-range presence for long-range harassment through burst damage projectiles, offering the pyro extra insurance versus enemy snipers and a useful utility depending on which flare gun you use, while none of the shotguns offer attributes like mobility or knockback. To me, shotgun pyros are those who prefer consistency and mid-range combat above all else, those who typically stay with and support their team, though reserve shooter pyros are also pretty flank heavy. Conversely, flare gun pyros prefer the long-range capability of the flare guns to deter enemy snipers and long-range fighters, and to utilise the attributes of each individual flare gun, with most flare guns rewarding a flanking playstyle, sans the man melter which rewards team support. What do you think of this insight? Do you prefer shotguns or flares? I'd love to know your method of burning people alive as our favourite mumbling mascot. This has been your favourite cup of coffee, and I shall see you next time, my sexy compatriots. Bye!
I am the man who arranges the blocks that continue to fall from up above. The food on your plate now belongs to the state, a collective regime of peace and love.